Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown and Raw result spoilers for this week of November the 8th and November the 11th. And also 205 Live from after SmackDown. So they taped 205 Live earlier in the week, and I'm just now getting my video recorded and uploaded. Birthdays from the 5th. Alexander Wolf. He was born 1986. Allison Kay, a.k.a. Cena, 1987. Hiroyo, November the 6th. Hiroyo Matsumoto, 1985. Brutus Magnus, 1986. Nick Aldis, 1986. Fred Yehi, 1993. November 7th birthday. King Kong Bundy. He was born 1957. Would have been another year older. Joey Ryan, 1979. Former WWE star Muhammad Hassan, a.k.a. Mark Capani, turned 38. While AEW announcer Tony Schiavone turned 62. Ted DiBiase on November the 8th turned another year older. He was born 1982. Keith Lee from NXT, 1984. Kazuchika Okada, 1987. Candy Floss, 1999. November 9th birthdays. Chris Jericho, 1970. Pete Dunne, 1993. November 10th birthdays. Billy Gunn, 1963. Cowboy Bob Orton, 1950. Katarina, 1980. Katie Lee Burchill, 1980. Same person. Ryback, 1981. Dave Chris from Impact Wrestling, 1982. And rounding out birthdays from WWE, Peyton Royce, 1992. Also died on November the 10th. Earlier today, indie wrestler Matt Travis, best known for his work with Game Changer Wrestling and House of Glory, passed away after a reported traffic accident yesterday morning. So I guess that was on the 9th. He was only 25 years old. Word broke out. Stars from numerous promotions shared their reactions on social media, including Travis' trainee, Amazing Red, new MLW middleweight champion, Myron Reed, AEW tag team, proud and powerful, by the name of Santana and Ortiz. The Usos could very well be headed towards WWE Hall of Fame, just like their father, Rikishi. But lately, the only headlines we've seen out of the Usos has been negative ones with legal problems and the brothers not even being selected in the WWE draft. Rikishi talks about his sons as well as their legacy when he spoke to Wrestling Inc. and the Weekly podcast. I should be able to post it right there at that link for you. I think I'm posting it later. The boys have nothing to prove in the industry anymore. They've been there for 11 years, and the first couple of years was the hardest part. Not only to prove to themselves, but to prove to the whole world. Just because they're related to the dynasty doesn't mean that they have a free ride in the industry, said Rikishi. He then brought up being a head trigger with Samu, and they had to follow in the footsteps of Alpha and Sika, which was difficult. He wondered if he'd be able to fill their shoes, and he had the same thoughts with his boys. I always tell my boys, they have to pave their own way. Everybody knows your bloodlines, but at the end of the day, you have to go out and perform on your own, said Rikishi. I think the twins have done a wonderful job to be able to get out there and perform, and the WWE Universe supported them, and I thank them for that. Jay was arrested in early 2018, and Jimmy was arrested twice in 2019. Rikishi shared his reaction from negative headlines that his sons generated. Today, you can't hide anything. You have to be careful with social media. It's not just when you come to an arena, as it's in your personal life, and then there are camera phones all over the place. Said Rikishi, for me, I'm always cautious of things. that I do, and if it's not the right thing, then you definitely don't want to do that. With the boys, they are going to live and learn. Nobody's perfect, and I'm the first to say, but I've learned off my failures. If I did get in trouble, maybe I had many too drinks, and I knew I wasn't supposed to be behind the wheel. You can rest assured that I'm ready to pay the consequences. Sometimes you have to grow up. He added that it's for the performer's own good that they are under the microscope at all times, because she said that scrutiny is good for them, their company, and for their family. We mess up on the road. It's a domino effect all the way down to my younger son. As any adult in any job, everybody has choices to do right or act like an idiot, said Rikishi. So you pick and choose. Rikishi has been affiliated for WWE over 25 years, but he was asked if he could possibly pop up in AEW down the line. Never say never. I do want to say this. You guys want to look out for the Samoan Dynasty, the hit list? Rikishi said that before mentioning many of the young wrestlers he's helped train who will be the next generation of the great Samoan wrestlers. I've got my nephew, Jacob Fatu, who is probably the hottest independent guy out there. And in due time, I see the dynasty coming into AEW or WWE. We'll see. Tease Rikishi. But for me, it's just to be able to bring awareness to the youngster in the dynasty that are coming up in the industry. Rikishi's full interview and Wrestling Inc. as part of the recent audio player featuring Rikishi discussing his upcoming appearances at the Alamo Comic-Con. His work with Bustin' for Autism, the legacy of his sons, the Usos, his cousin Roman Reigns battling with leukemia, giving Vince McMahon the stink face, his pro wrestling future, and more. Which I don't think I got the link. I will find it for you and post it. Renee Young has gone from backstage interviewer to Raw color commentator to now being the host of WWE Backstage on FS1. This is the type of role that Young always wanted, and she talked about not enjoying her commentary role in the interview with Sports Illustrated Media Podcast. I'll post, and I did not get that link either. I don't think I did. I never felt comfortable doing the job. It was very stressful. To be quite honest, you look at the situation. I'm here in WWE, kind of like the first female to come into that role, and obviously the role was grown exponentially since, with so many women, we have backstage doing shows and hosting shows, etc. But at the time, I had kind of done everything, so I thought to myself, what is it that I need to do? I need to do something else. I can't just sit back here and do these backstage interviews anymore, and I need something else to chew on, said Young. So one week, Michael Coleslaw and Triple H pulled me aside and said that I'm going to be doing commentary on Monday Night Raw next week. I was like, what? Why? Whose idea was this? With anything, you're like, all right, this opportunity is in front of me, and I'm going to try and figure this out. I consider myself really talented in being able to talk. I know the ins and outs of the wrestling business. This should work. I am sure I can make something work of it. To go out there and call 3 hours of wrestling, coming from my background, I am a host. I like to be able to have more of a bubbly personality, which is what fans were more drawn to. Or they're drawn to my sarcastic side where I can be a smart butt. It is really, really hard to do that on commentary, especially when you have Corey Graves, who was great at that, but also stepping in as a third person. I am used to being that A person. I am used to driving that ship. So, to have Michael Coleslaw and Corey Graves in their rhythm I'm trying to jump in there, and everything has already been said. So it was odd. I tried to come at it from a standpoint, but it always doesn't work that way, because that doesn't always seem to be necessarily what they want you to say or doing so. I just always felt a little misdirection of what my purpose was out there. And on top of that, trying to call my husband's matches when he was still in with WWE. So there's a lot of different weird factors. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but it just wasn't the right gig for me. People that excel at that, it's a tough job. To be out there talking with sound bites, you have to talk specific points in the match. Whether you are talking about somebody's comeback or somebody's heat. That for me, to try to get in a bit of information just in somebody's entrance where it felt like a normal time for me to talk. You've got promo segments. It was a doozy. Young was the first full-time female commentator, and she was asked if she felt obligated to undertake that role. It was obviously a cool feather to put in my cap, but I'm not one to back away from something. I really, truly wanted it to work. I wanted to excel at that. Not being good at something is a tough pill to swallow for me. Admitting young, I wanted to be able to make that spot work, and it just wasn't really working, and I don't think it was everybody wanted in that spot. When you go from doing backstage interviews to doing 3 hours of commentary every week, you are opening yourself up to more criticism. Young talked about handling the critics who became louder and louder just as she started getting comfortable with the role. Once that crack of insecurities start to happen, it's one thing to shrug and laugh it off, and say that it's fine where you're like crying through your laughter. You can only take so much of it, stated Young. It went in ebb and flow, because the first time I stepped out there to do commentary during the first show, I was so confident going out there where it's like, hey, whatever I have to do. So I went out and did it and felt really good about it. It was around the time that everyone was like, oh my God, we finally have a woman out here doing it. Everyone is rooting for you, and it's great. But then a couple of weeks go by, and then some fans start complaining about them not liking the sound of a woman's voice, with different opinions here and there. So yeah, it's hard to keep some of those insecurities in check sometimes. Everyone just wants to be good. Whatever someone is doing, they want to be good at it. And when there is a misstep or not so sure about what you're doing, there is a slippery slope in there for sure. After about one year on the Raw commentary desk, W Backstage was created, and Young was chosen to be a host. She said as soon as plans for the show were announced, she had no doubt in her mind that she was going to get the gig. I think a lot of things were falling into place together. I think as soon as the partnership with WWE and Fox came to fruition, knowing and hearing these rumblings of this new show coming out, I think it was sort of a no-brainer that I was going to step in there and do that. I think I made the most sense to go in there and host it, said Young. I think it's kind of as simple as that. I think with doing commentary, I was just sort of waiting and thinking, okay, can I do this? Am I ready to go now? Let me go. Please, for the love of God. Once that time started to tick down, we knew too. Once the changes were going to happen, with Raw being strictly Raw and SmackDown roster, was going to stick with SmackDown, knowing that big changes were going to happen, that seemed like obviously the transition of the commentators changing, and everyone was going to the brand specific. So yeah, it was a perfect time where everything happened all at once. Sports Illustrated Media Podcast is where you can find that. WWE has released new behind-the-scenes video at this link of John Cena on the set of Playing with Fire movie, which hits theaters this coming Friday, November. That's the same SmackDown Friday. And also a video of Cena at the world premiere in New York City last week at the red carpet at this link. Wells Fargo Arena in Iowa has announced on Facebook that the December 16th taping of Monday Night Raw will now be a double show. So you will get spoilers for that night with the regular results as well. With the second episode airing the following Monday, December 23rd. This comes right after the Tyson Event Center canceled a WWE taping due to scheduling conflicts. Ali is being featured on CBS Evening News, which will replay and air on their website. He tweeted and reposted a promo from CBS, which you can see at this link here. Tune in to at CBS Evening News tonight to see how we will shatter stereotypes and break down barriers, Ali wrote. And you can go to that link. WWE has now announced Sasha Banks versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown episode. As it was announced as a spoiler, Banks hasn't wrestled since suffering a tailbone injury at last month's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Also, SmackDown will tape Friday from Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. The show airs a few hours later on Fox. Here's an updated card for Friday. Roman Reigns versus Constipated Corbin. And now we can call him CCK. Constipated CKC. Constipated King Corbin. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Revival defending against Big E and Kofi Kingston. New Day, which I'll give you a spoiler very quickly. In fact, right after the next few matches are announced. Tyson Fury appears in his hometown. Sasha Banks versus Nikki Cross. And at this link, you can see the action and picture of your new tag team champions, New Day, as they defeated the Revival. New Day are now 7-time tag team champions. Big E and Kofi won following an assisted Trouble in Paradise 4th title change in Manchester in 2 years. Randy Orton has also made another friendly WrestleMania 36 challenge on social media. As you can hear in this in his tweet, Orton took on Instagram and challenged John Cena to a big match while traveling to England and seeing Cena on an in-flight magazine. And here's a link that you can see the challenge as well. I'm on a flight to London to see this striking young man asking me a question. Why, yes, at John Cena, I am up for a challenge. Are you? Let's say, oh, I don't know. Hashtag WrestleMania 36, maybe? Or does Hollywood have you booked solid? Hashtag WMN 36. Orton wrote. As noted, also at the link, Orton recently issued a similar challenge to The Rock. Another top boxer from England will be in attendance for Friday's SmackDown and Raw taping from Manchester. Undefeated IBF featherweight champion Josh Warrington, the 28-year-old from Leeds, will be backstage visiting at the double tapings. According to Sunsport, Vince McMahon called a backstage meeting around 3 p.m. I think I mentioned about this so-called meeting on Monday's Raw results. There's more details. Before Raw to address the travel debacle coming out of WWE Crown Jewel, Vince reiterated that there were no issues between the company and officials in Saudi Arabia. That's government officials. And that a mechanical issue prevented the plane from leaving when it was scheduled to leave. Nothing less. But they had issues with the plane. One plane, like Hogan, Flair, and some other, were when they landed. Vince opened the meeting for questions from talent, and nobody asked any questions. And nobody said anything about the story given to them on what happened in the kingdom. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that there was feeling that saying anything negative about the story given to them during the meetings wouldn't do any good anyways. Nobody spoke up. The Observer adds that the feeling on saying anything negative about the company's Saudi story wouldn't do any good anyways. Was apparently the correct call. Randy Orton obviously said something during the meeting, but he was just trying to break the tension by being funny. Vince responded and asked, "Anybody else want to just kiss my butt?" Now, you remember the club that he used to have on TV? The meeting was just about to wrap up when Triple H called out Carl Anderson for comments he made on Twitter about who would be the locker room leader on Monday. As noted, Anderson tweeted, "Looking forward to seeing who the locker room leader is on Monday." Popcorn emoji, red heart emoji. Anderson reportedly didn't say much of anything in response. There was apparently more heat to Anderson's situation as he and his wife also joked on Twitter about not going back to Saudi Arabia. But going back because they need a new pool or a second house. He tweeted, "Couldn't pay me enough to go back." Well, that's not true. I need a second pool, so you can see, you just heard Anderson's tweet. What? AJ Styles spoke at the meeting, but didn't say much. Styles was very unhappy because the delay in the Kingdom caused him to miss one of his son's wrestling matches. Rusev spoke some and mostly thanked Mark Carrano, the WWE Senior Director of Talent Relations, for his work in quickly getting hotel rooms booked for everyone while they waited for flights back to the United States. No one spoke about anything negatively, but there were some remarks about how at times during the debacle, the talents didn't have access to Wi-Fi and were unable to contact their families. And here you go for your SmackDown spoilers. Actually, late, so it's not even a spoiler anymore. From Manchester, England, thanks to Edward Neely posting the spoilers, which was now results. They brought the show opening 5-0 to England. King Corbin opened up SmackDown to a massive heat. Corbin calls out Roman Reigns and they argue. Corbin says Reigns' testicles are now the size of marbles. He taunts some more, but Reigns never come out. Kayla Braxton backstage with a New Day. Big E says they have to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles tonight so they can catch up with Charlotte Flair's championship reigns. New Day's Big E and Kofi Kingston defeated the Revival to become the new SmackDown Tag Team champions. After the match, Imperium's WWE UK champion Walter, Fabian Eichner, Marcel Barthel, and Alexander Wolf attacked, but Heavy Machinery came out to make a save to get a beat down. Other SmackDown superstars then also got involved to chase Imperium away. NXT UK stars? So could it possibly be a four-way? NXT versus UK, NXT UK versus NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw at your Survivor Series. Well, next up you got Cesaro and Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Ali and Shorty G. Sami Zayn still trying to get Daniel Bryan to join. He and Nakamura's team. Bryan just watched the match from the stage, despite Zayn inviting him to watch from ringside. Sasha Banks defeated Nikki Cross. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley was on commentary during the match and interfered at one point to assist for the win. NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler appeared after the match and laid out Bayley for a big pop. Carmella and Dana Brooke defeated Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville to earn spots on the Women's Survivor Series team. Constipated Corbin defeated Roman Reigns with help from Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. This was the main event. Tyson Fury came out to the ring and called out Braun Strowman because he wants to form a tag team. They're confronted by the B team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Fury and Strowman destroyed Axel and Bo, then posed together in the ring on the stage in the show. Monday's Raw, spoilers from Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. Thanks to Edward Neely again for the spoilers. To be on your USA Network at your regular time. Vic Joseph and Hall of Famer Jerry King Lawler come out to call the show. No sign of Neil Madden, likely to sell last week's attack from Brock Lesnar. Women's Tag Team Champions Asuka and Kairi Sane retained their titles over Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair to open the show. The titles were on the line. NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler came out during the match and watched from ringside while sitting in a chair. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley ran down to attack Baszler. Asuka took advantage of the distraction and rolled Lynch up for the 3 count. Bayley is furious at the "Hey Bayley" chants, so she attacked Becky as Baszler leads to the back. Perfect for your invasion for Raw and SmackDown. Will they do another tapings for SmackDown? Have a live appearance from Raw Superstars again? Back to the golden ticket, I guess. I don't know. Drew McIntyre defeated Sin Cara. Drew dominated the match. R-Truth versus Singh Brothers in a handicap match for Samir's 24/7 title. Ended in no contest as the Singhs ran away backstage and Truth chased them. Seth Rollins come out to a very mixed reaction. The moves took over, and Rollins looks like he loses his train of thought for a few seconds. He tells the crowd to keep that same energy when it's hard to hear him at points. He talked some about Triple H and the WWE NXT crew. Rollins issues a challenge to the best that UK has to offer. Imperium appears on the stage to a massive pop, and it's another other than NXT UK champion Walter. Fabian Aichner, Marcel Barthel, and Alexander Wolf. Walter accepts the challenge, and the crowd goes mad. Seth Rollins defeated Walter in a non-title match by DQ due to interference from the Imperium. Street Profits and Kevin Owens made the save and set up a big 8-man match for later. Owens got a massive pop there. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Street Profits defeated Imperium in an 8-man tag. Montez Ford hit a huge job at one point, taking down Walter and Aichner on the ground and tearing up part of the announce table. Another big pop for Owens after the match. Backstage segment with OC confronting Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo. They tell them to find a partner for the 6-man match later on. Randy Orton steps up and joins them. Andrade defeated Cedric Alexander. Lana comes out and goes on about being pregnant. Fans boo. She says she's 9 weeks pregnant because Rusev got her pregnant. She didn't first have sex with Bobby Lashley until 7 weeks ago. The crowd dumps on the segment quickly, and the board can't start drown her out. At times, Rusev comes out and admits he's a sex addict. Bobby Lashley also came out, and he was also upset. Fans were upset at what may be the worst segment in Raw history. Lana is pregnant, and everyone still wants to be with her. Lashley attacks Rusev, left him laying, then carried Lana to the back. Eric Rowan squashed a local Hatchman talent. Rowan was carrying something hidden under a towel. Looked like he will reveal it later. Raw Tag Team Champions the Viking Raiders defeated Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, also from NXT UK, in a non-title match. Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, and Randy Orton defeated DOC in 6-man action for your main event. Carrillo got the pin for his team. There was strong tension between Orton and Ricochet, and that was the end of Raw. And that concludes my... Okay. No, I got 205 Live. Of course, it was pre-recorded back at the NXT arena for Full Sail University. Show opening. We enter the arena, showing Brian Kendrick, wasting no time running down the ramp and into the ring, where he circles with his arms spread as he removes his leather jacket. Mansoor's music sounds in the arena. Next, he makes his way to the ring, climbing to the top rope, pointing to the crowd as he removes his gear. The bell rings and the match begins as the crowd chants, "Let's go, Kendrick!" and half are... A lot of back and forth between both men in this match early on. Mansoor hit a power move, leading into a drop kick on Mansoor. A bow to the midsection of Mansoor by Kendrick. Mansoor counters with a power move of his own, followed by a sunset flip by Mansoor. The match makes its way to the outside of the ring. Kendrick follows, throws Mansoor into the barricade, where Mansoor gets caught up. Wrapping his arm around the railing, Kendrick gets kicked. A kick to the arm of Mansoor, who was still wrapped up. Kendrick making his way to the back, into the ring, waiting on Mansoor. Mansoor finally makes his way back in the ring, where Kendrick is lying in wait, hitting a Russian leg sweep on Mansoor. Kendrick continues shoving his knees hard into the hand and wrist of Mansoor. Mansoor with strong chops to the chest of the Brian Kendrick. The crowd continues to be split, clapping and booing in unison. Only at opposite times, Kendrick locks in and armbar. Mansoor comes back with more chops once again. Kendrick takes a clothesline to Mansoor, followed by an insecurity. Mansoor with Falcon Arrow on Kendrick for a 2 count. Kendrick kicks out, does the time. Mansoor still holding his injured arm between each shakedown. Mansoor lifts Kendrick over his head onto his shoulders. Kendrick once again attacking the injured arm of Mansoor. Mansoor goes for a power move. Kendrick counters with a half suplex. As the crowd begins clapping, Kendrick nails a power slam on Mansoor. Mansoor is face down on the mat with a dazed look on his face. Kendrick goes for a captain's hook to no avail. Mansoor counters, catching Kendrick in a mid-side spread attempt with a quick roll-up of his own for a 3 count pinfall. Mansoor rolls out of the ring quickly, smiling at Kendrick, who is left sitting in the ring. Well, at the broadcast table, you got Aiden English and Tom Phillips as your broadcasters for this week. Recalling the match at NXT 2 days ago between Tony Nese and Angel Garza for the number 1 contenders matchup. Tony Nese versus Angel Garza. Tony Nese makes his way to the top of the ramp, where he stops to count each one of his abs. Counting to 8 before he makes his way down the ramp and to the ring. Out next comes Angel Garza, who acts like he's going to slap the hands of fans, pulling away before they can. Garza stops by one female fan on the outside and points to his cheek for a kiss. She complies. Garza enters the ring, and the bell rings as we begin the match. Early on, both men grab each other by the hair. Double hair pull. Garza finally takes Nese down, as both men are now grappling on the mat momentarily. As both men struggle to make their way to their feet, Nese with a single leg pickup. Garza attempts a single leg submission. Back and forth reversal between both men. Crowd claps. Both men take back to their feet, circling the ring. Waistline takedown by Nese, who now shows off his guns. Garza gets back to his feet. Flying head scissors by Garza onto Nese. Back and forth chops to the chest on both men. The crowd chants, "Oh crap," after each chop. Not the woos you would expect, like Ric Flair. Nese with an elbow to the face of Garza. Garza lifts Nese onto the top rope. Garza with a boot to the face of Nese at the top turnbuckle. Sunset bomb attempt. Nese gets a power bomb on Garza's pants. As Garza still standing on the top turnbuckle as we go to commercial. That's his gimmick. He wears his wrestling tights under his pants. He wrestles halfway where he just ends up taking his clothes off. As we come back to commercial, Garza lights up Nese. Wrecking ball drop kick by Garza as he makes his way to the second turnbuckle, followed by a flying moonsault onto Nese with a leap of faith. Both men make their way back to the ring. Garza hits a butterfly backbreaker with a 2 count pin attempt. Garza pulls Nese back to his feet. Nese slips between the legs of Garza and rolls him up for a pin attempt of his own. Garza nails a pump handle Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Nese tries again. Garza counters with a lung blower on Nese. Garza attempted to go airborne once again. Nese jumps to his feet and slaps Garza across the face, sending him onto the outside of the ropes, still standing on the mat. A tornado DDT by Nese on the ground outside of the ring. Nese with a 450 splash on Garza and pins. Referee stops and count. Noticing Garza's boot on the bottom rope, Garza gets caught with the right hand. Garza with a boot to the face of Nese. Echoing chops of the chest back and forth by both men. Garza attempts to go airborne again. Misses and gets a wing clipper on Nese, followed by the 3 count pin for the win. Referee raises his hand, the hand of Garza, in victory. After the match, Lio Rush comes out to the top of the ramp saying, "I'm looking forward to it," with a good sportsmanship handshake. Guards and smacks Rush in the face again and walks off towards the backstage area. Rush can be heard saying, "Oh, it's home now." He smiles, rubbing his jaw as we go to commercial. Very similar to what he did last week on stage. Back at the broadcast table, the video package shown following the storyline of Danny Burch, who will be joining the Cruiserweight division on 205 Live as a singles competitor. Aiden English and Tom Phillips discuss the details of the NXT invasion for the past few weeks. Lio Rush versus Raul Mendoza was up next. Lio comes out to the arena as his music sounds. Rush climbs to the second turnbuckle, signaling to a championship belt, which is secured around his waist. Raul was out next with a lot of energy as he jumps onto the side of the ring, climbing to the ropes and entering the ring. The referee signals for the bell, and we get the match beginning. Mendoza with a boot to the face of Rush, who ends up on the outside of the ring. Mendoza flies through the ropes onto Rush. Mendoza hits a flipping senton before both men make their way back into the ring. Neckbreaker followed by a springboard moonsault off the bottom rope onto Rush by Mendoza. Mendoza with a loud backhand chop to the chest of Rush, who was stuck in the corner against the turnbuckle. Rush goes for a kick. Mendoza counters, grabbing his foot. Rush flips over, kicking with his other leg. Mendoza attempts a pin. Rush gets his arm up. Mendoza stretching Rush into an awkward position with a surfboard stretch followed by a submission attempt. The crowd chanting, "Lio, Lio," back and forth between the two men. Rush with a pin attempt to no avail. Rush with a boot to the face of Mendoza. Both men back to their feet. Rush shoves Mendoza into the corner. Rush then nails a clothesline on Mendoza. Mendoza counters with a back elbow. Rush takes Mendoza down with a spear through the ropes onto Mendoza. Referee counting. Rush throws Mendoza back in at 4. Rush gets a springboard DDT on Mendoza and attempts a pin. Mendoza kicks out at 2. Mendoza counters a big move of his own with a pin attempt as well. Rush kicks out. Mendoza gets to the top rope, and Rush is able to escape. Mendoza with a big kick to the back of the neck of Rush. Rush slams Mendoza face first with a spinning unprettier, followed by a 3 count pin for the win. Leo's then seen walking back up the ramp, holding a championship belt high above his head. As Aiden English and Tom Phillips reiterate, this was the first 205 Live taping in the NXT arena. As the show ends, as the arena fades to black, that's it for that one. And that concludes my results for 205 Live, SmackDown, and Raw for this week. Thank you. Peace out. See you in one video. You don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.